How's it going? It's Bradley with Allaqcess Sports, bringing you our Week 11 installment of our sleepers, studs, and stacks. And this is where we get into those players that are under $5,500, you guys that are high priced that you need to get into your lineup. And then we'll talk about some of those stacks, some of the quarterbacks paired with their wide receiver, possibly a run back, and just kind of look at the slate overall. And then at the end, we'll kind of make it a little spicy and put together a lineup. If you want more details about our lineup that we'll be putting together, we give out our starting five. We talk about Vegas odds and so much more down on Patreon. That's down in the description. Also, Vivid Picks. They have some incredible promotions going on this week for the NFL slate. You're just picking over/under player props. So get signed up today with my code down in the description. Starting things off, we're just going to look at the quarterback position as a whole. So starting it with the guys under $5,500, there really isn't a whole lot to love. Deshaun Watson out. Baker Mayfield against San Francisco. Good defense. Some defensive back struggles at times. Will Levis, maybe you can find some success against Jacksonville, who has been susceptible. Bryce Young against Dallas. No. Carson Wentz. I don't know what he's even doing on the slate. Badgett, no. Justin Fields is back. DeVito against Washington, possibly, but there's way better options out there. Josh Allen, obviously, you can play him anytime, any place. Tua Tagovailoa, you got to love him against Las Vegas. Justin Herbert, you can probably play him any slate, any day. Dak Prescott going up against the Carolina Panthers. They've been good against the pass. Yeah, that's me being a little bit of a homer, but look what he's done the past 3-4 weeks. That's unbelievable. Even in a blowout game, he had over 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, in a game where myself and a lot of other people were saying, hey, they're just going to run the ball. They did the complete opposite. CJ Stroud going up against the Arizona Cardinals, Justin Fields, Jared Goff against Chicago. This little section of people might be my favorite. CJ Stroud, really good spot. Justin Fields playing from behind against Detroit. Jared Goff, bad Chicago defense. Matthew Stafford against Seattle, possibly. But Sam Howell against the New York Giants, who just gave up those 4 touchdowns to Dak Prescott. Probably going to be in a really good spot when they just want to throw the ball a half a century worth of times. Also, every single quarterback here, with the exception of Goff and Stafford, have a wide receiver or tight end weapon that is extremely cheap that you can get into your lineup, going all the way down to Kyler Murray and even possibly Trevor Lawrence. If you want to stack, look in that area. Running backs that you can possibly get into your lineup, starting with the studs up top. Christian McCaffrey, yeah, he's basically an insert every single week. Didn't even get in the end zone last week, but still had 20 points. They tried to force feed him down there at the end. But I mean, he's just going to be a set it and forget it kind of guy. There might be some better opportunities for you to get some running backs this week. Starting off, Austin Eckler against Green Bay. You can kind of just put him into the lineup and forget about it as well. Travis Etienne going up against Tennessee Titans. I like Saquon Barkley going up against the Washington Commanders. There's a lot to like, but at $7,100, you could find some better values. Like he's 20 points is basically the max over the last 5 weeks. Jahmyr Gibbs, $7,000 against the Chicago Bears. Yes, David Montgomery is back. He looks like he's probably running back 1 if you go back to the beginning of the year. But Dan Campbell has kept his word of, hey, we're going to get Gibbs the ball. We're going to get him involved. Over the last 3 weeks, 27, 32, 26, 14 attempts, 26 attempts, getting involved in the passing game. There is a lot to like at $7,000 going up against the Chicago Bears team that's 25th in the league against pass. They're going to play back, hopefully, try and stop Laporta, Amon-Ra, hopefully open up some avenues for Montgomery and mainly Jahmyr Gibbs to take advantage of. Raheem Mostert, I would be interested in if Achane doesn't play. They say that they're going to activate him. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just something that's super big brain by Mike McDaniel and they're actually not going to be getting him suited up for Sunday. But we'll have to wait and see. Tony Pollard against the Carolina Panthers. Panthers, one of the worst run defenses in the league. We've been picking on them, or at least wanting to pick on them. He's got to get it worked out because look at this. If there's 1 week to do it, it should have been last week against the Giants, but you get a chance at redemption, Cowboys. $6,600 is dirt cheap for Tony Pollard and what he's capable of. We'll see if it actually plays out to fruition or if we're going to get hurt again. 2 running backs that are semi-cheap, Brian Robinson and James Conner. Brian Robinson against that awful New York Giants team. When Washington's ahead, hopefully they are going to slow it down and run the ball a little bit more. But because they are throwing the ball 50 times a game, he is still getting involved in the passing game. And then for James Conner, he should be a workhorse in a game against the Houston Texans, who have given up some points to some teams and have been susceptible to the run, including Rachaad White a few weeks ago. I believe he put up 27 points against Houston on 20 attempts. Yes, a lot of that happened down low. But hey, if Rachaad White can do it, there's no reason James Conner can't replicate that, especially when he's getting good volume when he is healthy. If and only if Aaron Jones' hamstring issue does keep him out, he was limited in practice recently. If he's out, A.J. Dillon is certainly in line for us to be putting him into one of our lineups. I don't know if there's a whole lot to love under $5,500 if Khalil Herbert is back. D'Onta Foreman is definitely not going to be interesting to me. Dameon Pierce coming off an injury. We'll have to wait and see how that's going to play out. Is it going to be Singletary as the main guy, or are they going to kind of split carries if he is healthy? Really, only under $5,500 would probably be Jerome Ford against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are not very good against the run. He's getting you at least 10 points a game in the majority of games that he's been playing and been healthy in, and then they're 25th against the run. Jerome Ford, $5,200 if he's going to continue to lead that Browns backfield. I really like him in this position, especially when that defense is just going to clamp down and not really allow Pittsburgh to score a whole lot. One last thing about Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson is doubtful. Wide receiver starting at the top. I don't have to mention the guys that I like because you know if they're at the top, they're probably in a good spot. They're priced up for a reason, right? Like Tyreek Hill, is that a good play? Yeah, more than likely. CeeDee Lamb against the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, more than likely. Stephon Diggs in kind of a comeback game after a disappointing performance last week. Yeah, probably. Keenan Allen, if he's healthy against Green Bay. Yeah, probably. Amon-Ra. Like you get the gist of it, guys. Like I don't have to talk about those things, right? I will say this. Davante Adams going up against the Miami Dolphins, even though they are 23rd, they are getting healthy. I'm going to be fading Davante Adams just a little bit in comparison to other people. Yes, the targets are nice. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be getting receptions. He could probably catch anything around him at a 10-foot radius. But with the Miami defense getting a little bit healthier, it's going to be a slight fade for me. So who are our favorite plays from up top then? That would be Amon-Ra St. Brown starting that off, CeeDee Lamb being number 2, and then Tyreek Hill going up against Las Vegas. I like it in that order. There's a lot to like in this range right here. DeAndre Hopkins going up against Jacksonville. Again, if they are going to have a wide receiver that pops, it's going to be DeAndre Hopkins. Another guy is Tank Dell. If Nico Collins misses again, he's going to continue to get just a massive amount of the volume in the passing game coming off C.J. Stroud against an Arizona team that's just not very good overall. DJ Moore in a dome environment against Detroit, who just gave up a ton of points to Keenan Allen last week. Yes, they're a good defense, but clearly they exposed something last week. Justin Fields is back or should be back for DJ Moore, and that means we could have one of these big games. Yes, we could fall flat on our face, but at $5,600, you're getting him at a really good price. Don't let his performances with Tyler Badgett sway you away that DJ Moore shouldn't be having a good game. Another guy would be Christian Kirk. Yes, Calvin Ridley's here too. I know I was high on him at the beginning of the year, but Christian Kirk continuing to get really good volume in the passing game as well as just really producing very well. Jahan Dotson was an absolute flop last week. Maybe him or Terry McLaurin will be able to have a game similar to what CeeDee Lamb did against this New York Giants team last week. Wouldn't be surprised if the Giants aren't able to get pressure in Sam Howell's face. Let him get some time down the field. Jahan Dotson could be in line for a big game. $5,100 worth the risk in my opinion. Jalen Guyton, $3,300. Yes, last week, first game that he was really super healthy and we thought we were going to be getting good numbers from him. 41 yards, 14 points. This LA Chargers defense cannot stop anyone, so the Chargers are going to have to put up points. It's going to be Keenan Allen, who is dealing with a little bit of an injury, Quentin Johnston, and Jalen Guyton right now. $3,600, Curtis Samuel. Just find some space over the middle. Let Sam Howell deliver the ball to you. Just sit down somewhere in that soft, measly New York Giants defense. Get yourself 6 targets and just score me a touchdown. That's all I want. At $3,600, I just need a touchdown. 3 grabs, 40 yards and a touchdown. Give me a 15-point game, buddy. Tight ends. If it's not Travis Kelce, I don't like paying up for it. George Kittle, yes, he is in a good spot because Tampa Bay stuffs the run and they give up a lot of passing yards. So George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, yeah, they're all viable in this one for me. Sam Laporta going up against Chicago. That's a good play. Dalton Schultz, again, one of those freaky games against Arizona, but on the flip side, Arizona's tight end Trey McBride with the first game back from Kyler Murray, 9 targets, 131 yards and 24 points. I would love to see a repeat performance of that, especially going up against a Houston Texans team that is just, again, giving up points and scoring a lot of points. This game has high points written all over it. If you do want to save a little bit of money, Luke Musgrave against that LA Chargers team. Again, Chargers, not very good against the pass. Not getting a ton of volume. We know he's capable of getting some higher volume games. At $3,600, you're probably getting about a 10-point game, 8-point game out of him. That's double, maybe triple your value, and I like that. So if we can put it all together into a lineup real quick, where are we looking? Quickly putting it together, C.J. Stroud, get him with Tank Dell, who I do like as his favorite weapon this week. Maybe you want to look at Noah Brown or Nico Collins if he's healthy. Brian Robinson in a smash spot. Jerome Ford against Pittsburgh, just because I think of sheer volume, he's going to be getting plenty of handoffs in that one. DJ Moore against Detroit. I like a lot of players in this game, including Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't know if I can get to Amon-Ra. I like Terry McLaurin, again, against the Giants. Trey McBride as one of my favorite tight end plays of the week. And then at your flex, you have plenty of options. Puka Nacua, if you want to go that way, against the Seattle Seahawks team that has had some big games against them. Saquon Barkley kind of steering away from. There's Jahmyr Gibbs, another Detroit Lion. Raheem Mostert, if Devon Achane is not activated. DK Metcalf coming off another double-digit target game, 12 targets, 14 targets, 10 targets. The numbers haven't been massive. He hasn't really gotten the end zone but 2 times this year, but obviously could have a big game. Kenneth Walker, no thank you. Tony Pollard, if you want to put him in against probably the league's worst running defense right now, go ahead and smash him in there. Maybe you get the payoff before the rest of us do when we buy into it. That's going to do it for this video. I appreciate you watching. Again, give a thumbs up to the video if you enjoyed any moment of it. If you learned anything, awesome. If you didn't, let me know. Let me know that. Let me know what you want to see, because I kind of want to tailor this to what you want to see and what's going to be most beneficial and helpful to you this Sunday for the main slate. I appreciate you watching. Hopefully the next time that I see you is in the green on Sunday's game.